Hello, guys. Hello. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining me yet again. Please say hi. Let me know where you're tuned in from. Please say hi. Let me know where you're tuned in from. My name is AyoT. This is Eagles Cracker, the home of Nigerian football. Our post-match show after the Super Eagles of Nigeria's 3-1 victory over Uganda in our final match of the AFCON 2025 group stage. 3 goals, 3 points, 3 wins into the knockout rounds, where we will most likely face the third place team from Group F. Currently, that is Mozambique, but they play against Cameroon. Anything can happen. Maybe they can beat Cameroon. Cameroon drops to third. Ivory Coast can mess up and drop to third. So that one is still wide open to see who we're going to face in round of 16. But based on the standings, it looks like it would most likely be the third place team from Group F, because the teams from Group A and B only have 2 points finishing in third. So that will probably not be enough to take them into the next round. We're looking at the potential tight situation with Angola and Tanzania as well. Let's wait and see how the rest of the groups shape up. But yes, this is a post-match show. Uganda 1, Nigeria 3. We are cruising. We are flying at this AFCON so far. As always, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the game and what I observed during the match. I'm going to give my player ratings, and then I'll give an opportunity for people to call in and share their thoughts on the match and the victory, as well as how you're feeling about the knockout rounds, because it's getting serious. Our side of the brackets, already started to take shape a little bit, and there's some tough teams that are on our side of the brackets. But again, you have to beat the best to be the best. So I'm not too worried. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. Say hi. Let me know where you're tuned in from. I see you, Tolex Nelson. Thank you very much. I see you, Kunlexi. Sioni, thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Sunday Adeni is joining from Philadelphia. Thank you very much. Alex Nelson from Canada. Eat Right channel from Kuwait. Thank you. Timi Adeniji from London. Temi Tokwe is joining from Ijagbo in Kwara State. Thank you very much. Dokas Olubanji from Canada. Frank Niji K from Lagos. Alex T from Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you very much. Just to mention, if you are joining me on Instagram, or you're on Facebook, or you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, please make sure to tune in on YouTube. It's going to be there that you're going to be able to enjoy the full conversation. I can see your comments, and then of course you can call in to share your thoughts. Some people are saying that I accidentally said Uganda beat Nigeria. Sorry about that. Nigeria definitely beat Uganda 3-1. Nigeria won. My apologies for that slip of tongue. Okay. Let me see more people. I have Emeka from LA, California. Sam is David from Sweden. Njoku Michael from Halifax. Thank you very much. Cody K from Houston, Texas. John Israel is joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Joseph Ugochukwu is joining from Auchi. David Ahabo is joining from Maryland in the US of A. Thank you very much. Please, if you haven't hit the like button, do so right now, please. It does a world of good for the channel. It takes you less than 10 seconds of your time. We're way over 300 people that are tuned in right now, and only 31 likes. So guys, please hit the like button. It costs you nothing. It doesn't take anything from your body. It does a world of good for the channel. So please hit the like button. And of course, if you are new here, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe so that you do not miss any of our AFCON coverage, and of course our extensive content that we have on the channel. Lots of historical content, players that you're just finding out about today. If you look on our channel, we've interviewed them in the past. So make sure you check out the content on the channel if you are new here. Lots of content to enjoy, and of course we're constantly creating new content all about Nigerian and African football. That's what we're dedicated to. That's why we are the home of Nigerian football. And of course, during the course of the show, if you want me to highlight your comment on the screen, if you want me to answer any question that you might have, do not forget to send your comments with a super chat. And also, that's just the way that you can support the channel. You can support the work that we do and help us to continue growing. Super chats are very appreciated. No matter the currency, no matter the amount, every little helps. Little drops of water eventually make a large ocean. And yes, we appreciate every single person that has supported up until this point. Okay. Let me just wait a little bit for the likes to go up, and then we can get the show on the road, guys. Please, we need. Let's get 100 more likes before we start. We need 100 more likes. hit the like button, guys. Please, please, please. Whether you're on your phone, your laptop, your TV, whatever, just take 10 seconds right now to hit the like button. Let's get numbers up, and then we can get the show on the road. Thank you. I see you, Din from Germany, Jerry from Moscow. Thank you very much. Jay Bemovan from Torino. I see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ernest from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Samuel from Nigeria, Pajay Sports from Nashville, Tennessee, Biodun Lewis from Canada, Stitch from the USA, Ikena from Kampala. Thank you very much. Tokwe from Maryland, USA. Thank you very much. Thank you, Promise from Greece for joining. Dean is greeting me from Germany. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Let's get more likes. Let's get more likes, guys, so that we can start very quickly. We need about 50 more to start. 50 more likes to start. Please do me a favor and hit the like button. 50 more for us to start this conversation. We're going to be talking about the match. Of course, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the game and what I observed during the match. I'll give you my player ratings, and then I'll give you guys an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts as well. So please, 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 we need about 45 more likes now to get this show on the road. Thank you for joining Chinwendu from Munachi from the UK. Thank you. Lastborn 3 from Oka. Thank you, Victor from Lagos. Daniel from the USA. I see you, Nero. Greetings from Australia. Aussie. Thank you for joining me. Olivia from Abuja. Thank you very much. Please remember to enjoy the full show uninterrupted to make sure that I can always see your comments. And if you'd like to call in, you have to be tuned in on YouTube. You wouldn't have access to all of that from other platforms like Instagram. So please make sure that you're joining us on YouTube. Make sure you're joining us on YouTube. Thank you very much. Ulu from Kent, Ben from New York, Kay from Texas. Thank you very much. 25 more likes, guys. 25 more likes and we can start. I don't know why you guys like me begging you to hit the like button. I feel like some people just they get off on it, just he's asking us, hit the like button, man. It costs you nothing. It takes less than 5 seconds. We would have started this show since. Guys, just please hit the like button. We need 25 more so that we can start. And of course, feel free to send super chats. If you send a lot of super chats, maybe I wouldn't need the likes as much. But if we don't have the super chats, we need the likes, we need the reach, we need the growth. Please help us grow. Oshé? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ken from Okota, Lagos. Dada from Tennessee. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. As you're joining, please hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. We're about to start. Joseph from Ekiti State. Thank you very much. Patrick from Kaduna. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate your audience. We're about 5 away from the like goal to get this show on the road. Steve from VGC Lagos. Thank you very much, Steve. AY, greetings from Texas. Thank you, AY. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Okay, we have hit the start goal, so we can kick this off. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to me from. My name is AyoT. This is Eagles Tracker, the home of Nigerian football, and this is the post-match show. Uganda 1, Nigeria 3. The Super Eagles have flown into the knockout rounds of the AFCON 2025. Another fine display. Unfortunate again that we just couldn't keep a clean sheet, but we got all the 3 points. We saw a different set of players on display. We saw some good performances. And maybe 1 or 2 things that we can just touch on that were not so great in the match. As always, I'm going to give you guys my comprehensive thoughts on everything that I observed during the game. I'm, of course, going to give you guys my player ratings, and I'll give an opportunity for people to call in and share their thoughts on the game as well. So, as anticipated, as expected, Eric Shell started this game making a host of changes to his team. Kept some of the core players like Bassi in the defense, kept Osimhen up front, but he made changes in the center back. I expected Ajayi was on a yellow to play Igor Ogbu That didn't surprise me. I expected to see Ali Bioshu, to see what he can offer. Ali Bioshu started from right back. Of course, with Nwabali dealing with an injury of sorts, I wasn't surprised as well. I predicted that Uzoho would probably start in goal, which he did. We kept Bruno Oyemichi at left back like I wanted him to. So I was happy about that as well. In midfield, he didn't play either of Ndidi or Iwobi. Instead, he went for Rafael Onyedika and of course Fisayo Dele Bashiru, which ended up working out quite well for us. And then in the attack, I thought he would play Ademola Lookman, but of course Lookman was on a yellow card, so I can kind of understand him not wanting to risk Lookman. He instead played Moses Simon, and then he brought Chukwueze back into the team. And then we had tall Paul Onwachu, and of course Victor Osimhen leading the line, which I also wanted Victor Osimhen to start this game. I didn't think he would play that long, but I wanted Osimhen to start, and the coach obviously wanted that as well. So the game kicked off. The Super Eagles definitely in control of the match. We could tell that they were the better team. Early yellow card for Calvin Bassey. Thankfully, he hadn't been booked in previous matches, so he doesn't get to miss the round of 16 game. But he got an early yellow card in this one. And then there was a chance for Samuel Chukwueze after a good run down the left from Moses Simon. Moses Simon was quite dangerous on that left side in certain moments of the game. He played a cut back into the box for Samuel Chukwueze. Samuel Chukwueze honestly should have connected better with that one, but he miskicked or he just missed the ball, and then that one went begging. Something that I found interesting, because obviously if you watched my last show when we're talking about Uzoho potentially starting in goal in this game, Smilayi made a joke that Uzoho that doesn't take goal kicks, and it was so funny because the first goal kick of the game, he gave it to Calvin Bassey for Calvin Bassey to take, but eventually he took the next one, and then he took some goal kicks after that. I want to say at right back, Ryan Alibioshu, was playing with so much energy, both in attack and in the defense. I really liked what he was offering today. He really looked like, he could potentially be a starter. I mean, Uganda is not the strongest team in the world, so I can't really compare to maybe how he would have played against a Tunisia. But today he showed himself good. He was very energetic. You could tell that, making his debut, he really wanted to impress. He wanted to show that he deserves to be a part of this team. And I thought it was a good outing for him. Bassey, one thing that I saw, man, today that I was just like, wow, Calvin, okay. Bassey's range of passing today, that switch from that left center back to Samuel Chukwueze on the right side, it was magnetic. Calvin Bassey was switching that ball like no man's business. His passes were connecting very well, looking to break the lines, play forward passes, trying to create something from the defensive position. Ubelumba, is one of the players that you always know what you are going to get from him, and if you get anything less than that, it's a shocker. It's like, wow, what is really going on? Calvin Bassey today, I thought his range of passing was quite good, and I was impressed to see that. There was also a moment in the first half where Chukwueze from deep, tried to hit an early cross over the top to Paul Onwachu. Onwachu just couldn't connect with the ball, and Onyango got to it first, but then Onyango obviously in the match started dealing with his own injury issues. We'll get into that in a little bit. And then Victor Osimhen unselfishly found Paul Onwachu inside the box, and what looked like a very, very easy chance to finish. Onwachu took his time, but still played the shot straight at Onyango, and that was a very, very good chance that went begging for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But it did not take long for him to recover and for him to correct that error. He got his goal after a good ball down the left from Bruno Oyemichi to Fisayo Dele Bashiru. Fisayo Dele Bashiru cut it back, and then Paul Onwachu stretched all 6-7 of his body and connected with that one and pulled the ball into the back of the net. Paul Onwachu gets his fourth goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and of course his first goal of the AFCON 2025. If you've been watching me, if you've been watching the Niger FC podcast, you guys know that I was one of the people that kept on talking about how tall Paul Onwachu must be in the AFCON squad. And I'm happy that he has repaid the faith that myself and some other people had in him. Of course, the coach had in him as well, by scoring a goal in this game. I was very, very happy to see Paul Onwachu on the score sheet. I feel like people criticize him too much, and I thought that, he did well in the game. He was running around. He was linking up the play. So I was happy for him that he got this goal. And then it meant that the Super Eagles went into the break at halftime 1-0 up against Uganda. Of course, with Onyango dealing with his injuries, Onyango, the Ugandan goalkeeper, at halftime, they made a change that would eventually be a significant change. They brought in their sub goalkeeper. On the Nigerian side, Chidozie Awaziem replaced Calvin Bassey at the half. Bassey, of course, had played 90 minutes in the first two games and had already got a yellow card in this match. He really didn't need to play the full match. So no surprises that Chidozie Awaziem was brought on for him at half time. And then the second half continued kind of like the way the first half went, with Nigeria showing dominance, with Nigeria creating, some half chances. Even though the Ugandans were trying to hit on the break, but Nigeria looked in control most of the time. There were not really any massive threats coming from the Ugandan side. Fisayo Dele-Bashiru put in a good ball into the box, and Bruno Imechi took a snapshot from the left, just inside the penalty area, went wide of the goal, just narrowly wide of the goal. And then the big moments that kind of threw the game wide open came shortly after, with Samuel Chukwueze playing a fine ball for Victor Osimhen to go through on goal. Victor Osimhen sees the goalkeeper rushing off his line, tries to beat him from outside, way outside the penalty area. And the Ugandan goalkeeper, man, I don't know what he thought. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe it was just, one moment of just like, I need to react, I need to do something. The Ugandan goalkeeper, from like 10 feet outside his box, used his hand to save Victor Osimhen's shot. And then, of course, it was an undoubted, a definite red card. The goalkeeper got sent off. Uganda went down to 10 men. They had to bring in their third choice goalkeeper because they had already subbed off their first choice at halftime. So now the second choice got sent off. They had to bring in their third choice goalkeeper. And then, of course, already losing the game 1-0, now going down to 10 men against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. It was always going to be a long night for the Ugandans from there. And so it proved to be, because Samuel Chukwueze slipped in Rafael Onyedika, threw on goal. Onyedika making that dart into the box from the midfield, took it very well on the first touch, and then finished calmly. The Club Brugge man scored the goal to make it 2-0 to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Very, very happy for Rafael Onyedika. If you cannot see, I have an Onyedika jersey behind me, signed. He's a fine player. He's a very nice guy, and I've always been supporting him since he was, even before you guys knew who he was. And I'm happy to see him do well at this level, score a goal at the AFCON. I thought it was a very, very fine goal. And yes, shortly after, in the space of 5 minutes, Onyedika again made it 3-0. Onwachu, with good link-up play in midfield, gave it to Samuel Chukwueze on the right side, and then Chukwueze, another brilliant assist. I thought that the third goal was all about Samuel Chukwueze. It was all about the intelligence, the heads-up play, the smarts of Samuel Chukwueze to really, really see that pass and to find Onyedika just inside the penalty area in loads of space. Onyedika did very well to place it, put it at the, where the goalkeeper was coming from, took him back to that side. The goalkeeper was completely wrong-footed, made it 3-0. And then from there, it was kind of smooth sailing and cruising for the Super Eagles. You could tell that, yes, this game was over. The Super Eagles were going to win. At that point, it was a matter of, can they score more? What is going to happen? Tochiko Nadi and Seydou Sanusi eventually came on for Bruno Imechi and Paul Onwachu. Onwachu had put in a very good performance up until that point. But that wasn't before Mato scored a very, very fine goal for the Ugandans. The Super Eagles, even playing against 10 men, we just managed to always find a way to concede goals. I do not know why, but we always find a way to concede goals. It was a run from midfield. Just nobody kept up with him. Nobody followed him, tracked him into the box. It was a very fine pass by Okelu, and then he dinked it over the onrushing Francis Uzoho. I can't blame Uzoho for it at all. They left him stranded. It was a 1v1 pretty much. It was a very fine goal. It was a very fine finish. But you wonder why the Super Eagles cannot keep a clean sheet even against a 10-man Ugandan side. That made it 3-1. And then from there, we just kind of had to see the game out. Victor Osimhen eventually went off for Akko Adams, and then Salim Fagulawal came on for chicken change time, replacing Samuel Chukwueze, who had a fine performance as well. He ended Uganda 1, Nigeria 3. A good win. Rafael Onyedika quickly matching the tally of Ademola Lookman. I think Lookman has also scored 2 goals in this tournament. So I think Lookman and Onyedika now Nigeria's highest goal scorers at the AFCON 2025. If I'm not mistaken, yes. Lookman, I know, has 2 assists as well, but he has 2 goals. Onyedika now also has 2 goals. Samuel Chukwueze has 2 assists. Alex Iwobi has 2 assists. So we're sharing the love a little bit. Onuachu, of course, has 1 goal. Wilfred Ndidi, of course, has 1 goal. Shemi Ajayi, of course, has 1 goal as well. So we're sharing the love, different players getting involved. And that's what I like to see. I like to see a comprehensive team performance. I thought that the Super Eagles played very well in this game. They looked in control for the most part. They passed the ball very well. They dominated. Even though this was a game that was essentially a throwaway game for Nigeria, they didn't take their foot off the gas. They wanted to win the game, and they of course made the Ugandans understand that we might be from the same continent, but level past level, we are not on the same level. And I'm just happy for the Ugandans that they were able to score that goal. I mean, even though I was sad that we conceded, but at least they have something to go away from the AFCON with. They scored in every game of the AFCON. They scored against Nigeria. They must be proud of themselves, even with 10 men. So I thought that was a good one. Now, for me to go into the individual performances and the players and how they performed by themselves. Let us get into that. Thank you to everyone that's just tuned in. Thank you. I can see the numbers going up, so more people are tuning in as the show is ongoing. Thank you very much. If you are new here, please do not forget to hit the like button and I'd rather subscribe. And of course, please, guys, hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Less than half of you guys that are watching have actually liked the video. So please just do me that big favor of hitting the like button. It costs you absolutely nothing. It takes just like 10-15 seconds of your time maximum. And of course, guys, please, if you have the means, support the channel, send a super chat. If you have questions, if you have things that you want us to talk about, that you want me to highlight on screen, please send a super chat. It goes a long way for the channel. And of course, it's a way that you can support the work that we do and also have priority responses in the comments. Thank you very much. Okay, let us get into the individual player ratings. We had Francis Uzoho in goal. Uzoho didn't have much to do in this match. He made a total of 0 saves. He only had to claim the ball in the box once from a cross that he came and he claimed quite well. He was accurate in most of his passes, completed 24 of 30 passes. Even his long balls were decently accurate. He was quite good with that. So nothing to really talk about. I thought that when he was called upon, which was almost never, he was comfortable. He didn't make us jittery or nervy at any point. But then, of course, the Ugandans also did not really have moments to make us jittery or nervy. The goal that he conceded, I can't put any faults on him. If he had saved it, it would have been like, wow, Uzoho saved that. Wow. But you cannot blame him for not saving it. It was a good finish. It was a good goal by the Ugandans. So for Francis Uzoho, I'll give him a 6.5 in today's game. I think, nothing spectacular, but nothing bad as well. Kudos to him. I feel like he has given us a little bit of confidence that if we need to call upon him in the future stages, he can be calm and he can, maybe not make any mistakes. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Okay, moving on to the difference. Bruno AMH started from left back position, played 77 minutes in the game, ended up making 7 defensive contributions. He won 2 tackles, he made 4 clearances, he won 3 goals. Today, I didn't think that he was that influential going forward. I think that was because in this match, we played more of a natural winger on the left side in Moses Simon. So Moses Simon was occupying the left side, in the attack, and Bruno did not have that room to really bomb forward and put in crosses into the box like he did in the previous game against Tunisia. But I thought that his passes were still very good. Completed 32 of 36 passes in the game, including 15 in the opposition half. So he was still, putting good balls in. Only made 3 bad touches in the entire match. Lost possession a few times with his passes, but I mean, if you pass enough, that's going to happen. Took 1 shot that went just wide of the mark. But I also was very happy with the pre-assist that he got for the pass, the pass to Fisadi Bashir that led to the Onuachu first goal. I thought he did quite well, covered a decent amount of ground. So nothing for me to knock Bruno AMH in this game. I have to say I was impressed with him over the last 2 matches more than I was impressed with Zaidu Sanusi in the first match. Bruno AMH gets for me a 6.5 in this game. Good performance for him. Calvin Bassey started at centre back, left centre back in the defense, only played the first 45 minutes. And in that period, he made 2 clearances, he won 4 duels, and he was essentially just in a wrestling match with Uche Ekpeazu for the 45 minutes that he was on. Every time that the ball came forward, it was Bassey against Ekpeazu. It was a test of strength. I don't know. Ekpeazu is maybe like 6'2", he's quite a bulky guy as well. So Calvin Bassey really had to be solid and strong. And I thought that he lived up to the matchup every single time. Of course, he considered one foul that got him a yellow card early in the game, but other than that, he didn't really put a foot wrong throughout the 45 minutes that he was on the field. I wish, for me to rate him highly, he would have had to play longer. So I'll just give him a 6.5 as well in this game. I thought he did well while he was on. But yes, he didn't play that long, so I can only give him such a rating. His centre back partner was Igor Ogbu. Igor Ogbu was quietly good in this match. Of course, he wasn't worked that much, like maybe he would have if he played against the Tunisia game. But I thought that he did quite well. He won the one tackle that he contested. He made one interception. He made 2 clearances. He won 3 duels overall. He committed 2 fouls. He was dribbled past once in the game, but his passing was accurate. And I thought that he was just quietly good, doing his job, not putting any foot wrong. For the 90 minutes that he was on, there was no moment where you would have said, "Oh, Igor, what are you doing?" There were times that he had to make certain recoveries and he recovered quite well. Again, if you've watched me enough, like I've said it in the past, that whenever I've seen Igor Ogu play against a very good team, whenever I've seen him play against a solid opposition, a solid striker, he tends to struggle. Against teams like this, in games where he's not tested as much, Igor Ogu is a very comfortable player to have. But I'm just curious to see how he plays if we face like a Morocco, or if we face like a Senegal, or maybe even a South Africa. Would he be able to put in that kind of performance? But I'm talking about today's game. For today's game, I thought he did well. I'll give Igor Ogu a 6.75, 6.8. Maybe even if I want to be generous, I can give him a 7 out of 10 in today's match. I don't think that he did badly at all. So let me be nice enough and give him a high rating. I think, give him a 7. Give him a 7 in this game, Igor Ogu. Ryan Alebioshu on the right side. Energetic player, played with a lot of energy, going forward, coming back, made 1 interception, made 3 clearances, won 2 duels, got forward, got into dangerous positions. I think that maybe his final ball could have been better. He put some crosses into the box, didn't quite connect with any of the crosses. He put 5 crosses into the box, none that connected. But I always say, because your cross did not connect does not necessarily mean that it was a bad cross. Sometimes maybe somebody just doesn't get on it, but he put the ball into a dangerous position. Maybe in 1 or 2 moments he could have picked a better ball, but for his debut, I thought he was quite good. He was inventive. He was trying to make things happen, which is something that I appreciate when I see players actually trying to make things happen. So I'm not going to knock him too much in this game. I thought he puts in a decent account for himself. This is the first time that a lot of Nigerians are getting, or we're getting, to see him, because not everybody watches him at club level. So I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. Now, is he going to displace Bright Osai Samuel in the future games? I don't know. In fact, I do not think so. But what he has shown us is that, look, if Osai Samuel goes down, if you need to make a change, I can come in and I can do a job. And maybe against a weaker team, he might not have the opportunity, or rather a stronger team, he might not have the opportunity to go forward as much as he did in today's game. But he did not make me nervous. He did not make me scared. He did not make me doubtful. So I'll give him a 6.5 in this game. I thought he was quite decent, and I look forward to seeing him put on the shirt for Nigeria more times in the future. Okay, just a quick one. So I see Austin is asking about how to join or send super chats. Austin, please make sure that you're tuned in on YouTube. Make sure you're tuned in on YouTube. I implore you, if you're on other social media platforms, join the show on YouTube. That is how you have the full experience. That is how you'll be able to call in. That is how you'll be able to support channel with super chats. So please, please, please join the show on YouTube. Search for Eagles Tracker NG on YouTube. You will see our logo. You will see that the live stream is on, and you'll be able to join. Super chats are always welcome. And again, this is another notice that if you are watching, please hit the like button. It takes nothing away from you, and it does a world of good for us. Okay, moving on. The two-man midfield was Fisayo Dele Bashiru and Raphael Onyedika. Both players got in good performances. I'll start with Fisayo Dele Bashiru. Of course, he got the assist for the first goal that was given to Paul Onwachu. It was a very fine ball, good awareness, put his head up, put it into the box, a good one for him. Completed most of his passes. It was accurate, a very, very involved in the opponent's half, playing balls, making sure that things were trying to be created. He had one shot in the game, I think, which was blocked. Most of his touches were successful. He only lost the ball a handful of times. And I thought he was good in today's game. Fisadile Bashiru is a very interesting player because we know that maybe he's the only player that we have with that specific archetype of driving forward with the ball and being creative and also being a goal threat in and around the penalty area. And I was happy with his display today. I thought he did quite well. I think he's somebody that in future matches, if we're trying to break an opposition down, if we're trying to take the game to a team, Fisadile Bashir will definitely be able to contribute. I'm going to give him a 7 for today's game. I thought he did well. Nothing for me to knock him on. There was no moments where I thought he was struggling or he was bad. So kudos to him. Kudos to him. Good performance from Fisade Bashiru, and he played the entire 90 minutes, and hopefully we see more of him in this AFCON. We also had Raphael Onyedika Nwadike playing. And look, I don't want to sit here and wax lyrical about Raphael Onyedika, but he's who we always thought and always knew that he is. Onyedika is a guy that is very controlled in possession. He's a guy that plays, his passes are so accurate most of the time. He doesn't lose the ball a lot. And then he can get into the box and he can find you a goal. It's always been a big question for many people why Eric Shell has not been using him as much. What is he not giving in training? Does Eric Shell just like a different kind of player? It's always been the big question because Onyedika, you know what you're getting from him. We've seen him do it in the UEFA Champions League. We've seen him do it in the Belgian Pro League for a few years now. Win titles, win cups with playing this fine brand of football in the midfield. Yes, he's not the trickiest player. Yes, he's not the fastest player. He's not the strongest player. But the things that he does them very, very well. He's a player that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He completed 70 out of 72 passes that he attempted today. Very, very clean football player and gets into the right position and can just finish when he gets a chance on goal. I was so happy with what he did today. I was so happy. Still managed to win one tackle, managed to make one block, managed to make one clearance, and also win one ground goal. Raphael Onyedika, very, very impressed today. I'm going to give him a 9. 9. That's my match rating for Raphael Onyedika. Just calmly slotted his way into the top scorer chart for the Super Eagles at this AFCON, 2 goals. I think the top scorer in the entire tournament for all nations are those guys that are on 3 goals, the likes of the Riyad Mahrez. So who knows, man, if he gets more chances to play, maybe Onyedika can be competing for the golden boot. I thought it was a very, very fine performance today, and I was happy for him. Always a happy player. He's one of those guys that always on the field, you see, he's always with a smile on his face. And then when he gets his chance, he takes his chance. Very, very happy for him. If I'm not mistaken, I think these were his second and third goals for Nigeria. Maybe, I think he scored 1, maybe 2 in the past. I would have to check the stats properly to be sure of that. But, very, very happy. And hopefully this has shown Eric Shell that he has quality, and maybe Eric Shell will give him more opportunities in the future because he's really found it hard to get into the Super Eagles side on the bench for the entire game in the first 2 matches. So kudos to him. Let's see how this one goes for him as the tournament continues. The wingers in this game, we had Moses Simon operating from the left. We had Samuel Chukwueze operating from the right. Moses Simon was dangerous in moments in this game, created 2 opportunities. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get any assist in this one, but created 2 chances, putting a number of crosses, only connected with, I think, 3 out of the 7 crosses that that he puts into the box today, but I still felt like he was dangerous. Simon is one of those very unpredictable players. When he dribbles, when he starts to turn left, turn right, sometimes he might lose the ball, sometimes he might beat his man, and you're like, whoa, okay, Simon, this is what I want from you, But today was a decent game. It wasn't the best game in the world, but definitely wasn't a bad game at all. I think I'm going to give Simon a 7 out of 10 for today's game. Still contributed in defense, winning 2 out of 2 tackles. He was very successful with his dribbles. He completed 4 dribbles in this match out of 5 that he attempted. So you have to give him credit for that. Was strong in his duels, winning 6 duels on the ground, and only made 4 bad touches in the entire game. Lost possession a handful of times. I was impressed with Simon in moments. Simon is a player that you want. That he has the quality, and you want to see him dominate a game for 90 minutes. It doesn't always happen, but in moments, in spurts, Simon gives you a lot, and you're very excited by what you see from him. Now, would he break into the team, and would he be there in the future? When Ademola Lookman comes back, probably Simon is going to be on the bench. But Simon can offer you that spark, when he's on the field, when he's playing against tired defenders especially. He can be a very dangerous guy, and kudos to him for his performance today. 7 out of 10. Okay, Samuel Chimerenka Chukwueze. Samuel Chukwueze played for the entirety of the match until the end when he was subbed off. Got 2 assists today and also played some other fine balls that did not lead to goals, unfortunately. He created 5 chances. Samuel Chukwueze, 5 chances created in this game. He was in the midst of everything good that was happening in the Super Eagles attack. I thought he was very good today, very accurate with his passes, 54 out of 57 completed, 32 out of 35 in the opponent's half. He took 2 shots. Unfortunately, I think one was a free kick, another free kick. I'm sure he wants to scrap that from the highlights. But other than that, he was very, very good. It was very eventful. Successful with 3 out of 6 of his dribbles that he attempted today. Didn't really do too much work on the defensive end of things, but still completed 1 tackle. I was impressed with Samuel Chukwueze. I like the confidence that he's playing with. I like the freedom that he's playing with. One thing is that Eric Shell gives Samuel Chukwueze the room to really play his game and the room to really flow and do what he wants to do with ease, and know that even if he makes an error, he has people that will cover for him and he wouldn't necessarily be knocked for it, at least by the coach, maybe by fans. But I thought for today's game, it was quite good. And, I'm going to give Samuel Chukwueze an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Samuel Chukwueze in today's game. Yes, for the goal, he could have been in a better position, but I have to really watch that goal back a few times before I can apportion blame. This is immediate aftermath reaction for it, because when I saw the goal, I felt like there were a few players that could have done better, that allowed that player to run in, and of course that allowed Okello to play that pass. So I wouldn't necessarily blame Samuel Chukwueze for it. A comment here, somebody said add video clips to analysis. Again, unfortunately, I'm not a huge production. Again, this is why I've been saying, please guys, send super chat, support the channel, like, subscribe, share, so that we can grow and we can get to the point where we have a whole production, we have people that are working behind the scenes. And at that point, immediately the match is over, we'll be able to go and chop video clips and everything and then get it ready. But as you can imagine, I'm live tweeting during the game, I'm making posts on social media during the game. Once the game ends, I have to be here live to give you guys the analysis and to give you guys the post-match show. There's only so much time to be able to put things together as one human being. And then of course there's the copyright factor as well. But even just putting things together, it's there's only so much time. In the future, when we get bigger, when we have more resources, when we have more rights, all those things, of course, I would love to be able to show you guys the things that I'm talking about. I would really love to be able to show you, but I cannot do it in the moment, in the future, probably. But yes, thank you to everyone that supported, and thank you to Augustus for the super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It goes a long way. Every amount supports the stream, supports the channel. So thank you, Augustus, for that super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, let me see. Is there any other comments that I want to take before we move on? Olu is a member of the channel. Thank you, Olu, for your comments. Olu says Simon should have been subbed off in the second half. Good first half, but poor second half. So that's what Olu says. Thank you, Olu, for being a member of the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Victor Cobham, also a member of the channel, left a comment talking about Raphael Onyedika. He said, I'm trying to find your comments to highlight on the screen, Victor Cobham, but is he said, yes, he scored a scorcher volley against Benin Republic in one of the AFCON qualifiers. Yes, Raphael Onyedika. So like I was saying, I think this might be his second and third goals for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Animanga is asking, please, how do I support? If you'd like to support, please leave a super chat comment. Leave a super chat comment. It's money that you're giving to the channel essentially. You can also join the channel as a member of the channel, and it gives you a nice badge. It gives you priority responses in our comments and some of the other perks. You know, videos are released first to members a lot of the time and things like that. So yes, Animanga and anybody else that is wondering, that is how you can support the channel. And once again, if you're on Instagram, if you're on X, if you're on Facebook, please make sure that you join on YouTube. On YouTube is where you are actually supporting the content, is where you're actually supporting Eagle Tracker, is where you're actually supporting the work that we do. As fancy and as flashy as Instagram can be, I hate to say it, but we gain absolutely nothing. We gain absolutely nothing from Instagram, regardless of how many people tune in, regardless of how many people watch, regardless of how many people like the posts. We gain absolutely nothing on Instagram. But if you go on YouTube, you can support. That's where we can actually make something. So please do that. Please do that. Please do that. Okay, let me finish up my player ratings. Very quickly. I have the two strikers, Paul Onwachu and Victor Osimhen. I'm going to start from Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen played it 7 minutes before he was sold for Akko Adams. Had only one shot in the game, which was quite surprising for somebody like Victor Osimhen that shoot. But in today's match, there were not that many chances created for him. Unfortunately, there were just not that many chances created for him. He had one chance, that yes, was on target. Maybe you say he could have done better with. Offside 3 times. I think one of them did not look offside to me, but the other 2 were offside. It was like there was one in like the first 2 minutes of the game. I was like, man, just have to see me don't already go offside. That's something that he probably needs to work on a little bit. He's always energetic. I don't know, maybe it's a communication thing with his midfielders for them to know when he's going to, the signal that for him to make the run, and then they can pass to him. But I think he gets caught offside a little bit too much. For me, only had 17 touches in the entire game, so the ball just wasn't coming to his feet. And honestly, in moments where he could have taken shots, we saw him try to feed Paul Onwachu and play a more unselfish game. Maybe because he wore the captain's armband today. He was like, you know what, I'm not going to play for myself. I'm going to play for the team. I'm going to make sure that everybody's flowing. Osimhen is the undoubted number 1 striker for Nigeria. So maybe he felt like, let me supply Paul. Let Paul get going a little bit. Let other people get involved in the game. And he was just taking it easy. And of course, he doesn't want to get hurt going into the knockout round. So a bit of a low-key game from Victor Osimhen today, but it still wasn't a bad game. He still created opportunities. He could still potentially have got something out of this one. I'm going to give Osimhen a 6 points. Maybe a 6.8, 6.75. It wasn't a top performance, but it wasn't a bad game at all. Of course, he got the goalkeeper sent off. If the goalkeeper did not make that save outside the box, Osimhen will probably have scored with that shot. So yeah, I have to give credit to Victor Osimhen still, putting a good performance. He was working for the team today, which is something that you don't really see that often. Most of the time, the team is working for Osimhen, but I think the captain's armband, it made him play like a captain today. The thing that surprised me was that Osimhen was the captain ahead of Moses Simon, even though Moses Simon started the match, which I found interesting because when Ekong was the captain, Simon was, of course, one of the vice captains. So maybe that has been a subtle change in our leadership hierarchy in the Super Eagles, something to watch out for in the future. But yeah, so Simi, I'll give him a 6.75. I thought he did okay today. He definitely didn't have a bad game. And then finally, Paul Onwachu, a berry, tall Paul, 6'7" Paul, big Paul, whatever you want to call him. I was very, very, very delighted for Paul Onwachu. Earned his place in the team, having a fantastic season for Trabzonspor in the Turkish Super League. So I felt like he had to be in the squad for the AFCON. And of course, I'm happy that he was able to get his goal. He played a few minutes in the first game against Tanzania, and then today he got the start and he scored his goal. He missed one good chance. You have to say that he missed one very, very good chance, which would have been Victor Osimhen's assist. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish that one. I think he had one other header. I don't know if it was more of like a shoulder, really a header. He had one other one that went over the bar. It wasn't very easy to score, to be fair to him. But in the moments that he was there, he was quite good. And then I think one thing that I really, really liked from Paul Onwachu today was his link up play. He dropping deep, passing the ball, laying it off to the midfielders. For the Onyedika second goal, he did good link up to give the ball to Samuel Chukwueze. Those are some things that maybe go unnoticed if you're not really paying attention. And that's something that I've always been big on Paul Onwachu for. I think Paul Onwachu, if you've been watching my shows, if you remember, I've always defended Onwachu. His style, his footballing ability is underrated. Yes, he's 6'7", so people don't expect him to be technically good, but he is actually technically good. He can actually play with the ball at his feet to a good enough level. He links up far better than the other tall guy. I'll not mention his name. He links up far better than him. And, in today's game, I thought Onwachu made a good account of himself. Yes, he's not going to start the next game. He's going to be on the bench again. They're probably going to go with Victor Osimhen and Akko Adams. But when he comes on, he can do a job for us. And I'm happy with him. I'm happy that he scored his goal. At least he's taking something away from this AFCON. I feel like me asking for him to be included has sort of been justified, with his good performance today. Onuachu, I'm going to give him a 7.5. I'm going to give Onuachu a 7.5. And then for the head coach, Eric Shell. Look, I can't fault Eric Shaw for anything today. I thought he got his lineup pretty good, made 6 or 7 changes, but didn't change the entire team. That the team was just lacking coordination and out of sorts. Kept some of his core players like the Calvin Bassis, like the Osimhen's, brought in a very experienced Moses Simon to be part of the team, gave us an opportunity to see the likes of Ryan Elebioshu, an opportunity to see somebody like a Francis Uzoho in goal. Of course, made certain changes that just to appease people, like bringing in Tochukwu Nadi towards the end of the game. I didn't talk about the substitutes. A lot of them came on late, so I can't really rate them too much. Onadi had some good touches. Akko Adams barely touched anything. Salim Fago, I'm not even sure he ran onto the field before they blew the final whistle. Chidozie Awazim, of course, played the second half. They didn't have as good a second half as Calvin Bassey had in the first half, I will say that. And Sanusi also came on late in the game. But I thought Eric Shaw, he did a good job of playing most people. It would have been nice for him to also just find a way to give Ebenezer Akintomiro some minutes so that Akintomiro will at least taste some AFCON action. We were comfortable. He could have taken off Fisaya Dele Bashir earlier and said, okay, Ebenezer, come on. Or in fact, he could have taken off anybody's self. Just say, okay, let Akisomero just come on the field and field it. I mean, the way I don't know. See, let's not get into Nigerian football politics. But if anybody deserves a debut first between Salim Fago and Ebenezer Akintomiro, is Ebenezer Akintomiro. You could have the way you were subbing him off, subbing Fago on in the 93rd minute of the game when there were only 30 seconds left to play. You could also have just subbed on Akintomiro. But maybe Akintomiro will get his chance in the future. Maybe, who knows? Once he gets to the knockout rounds, it's harder for bench players to get minutes, but let's see what happens. I think Akintomiro and Amas Obasoge are now the only 2 players that have not played a single minute at this AFCON. Amas is probably not going to play. I'm sure he has accepted that one already. But for Akin Somiro, he would have been hoping and wishing that the coach would have given him some time. But yes, the coach got his setup quite well. You know, the team played well. We saw good patterns. We saw good movement of the ball. We saw good attacking quality. His substitutes were not bad at all. You know, he didn't do anything wrong. Like in the previous match, we said, okay, he made some bad changes that potentially could have made us let the lead go. But for this one, oh yes, Cyril Dessers as well. Dessers was not even on the bench. Thank you for that. Dessers was not even on the bench today. Dessers also hasn't got minutes. I don't know, maybe he picked up a knock in training. That's why he wasn't on the bench today. But that's one to watch. Dessers is an unlucky guy when it comes to Super Eagles. When it's friendly, Dessers go play. When it's real match, we don't see him again. But yes, the coach, I'll give the coach a 7.5 out of 10. I thought he got it right. I thought he did his job. The team played well. The team scored 3 goals. For whatever reason, for the life of me, I cannot explain why we just cannot keep a clean sheet. I just cannot explain why we cannot keep a clean sheet. We always find a way to concede. And if you watch my match preview, this is my first correct prediction from this AFCON. So I'm proud about that. 3 matches, I've got 1 prediction right. I said 3-0 to Nigeria, but the Super Eagles can just always find a way to concede a goal. So 3-1. And that's exactly what happened. We're leading 3-0. We found a way to concede a goal, 3-1. So I got it right. I'm happy about that one. My first correct prediction. So yes, that was interesting. And yes, Mohamed Usman, sorry. With all due respect to him, I don't even think of him in this squad. But yes, Mohamed Usman has also not gotten any minutes. That one, if Mohamed Usman plays, I'll be very shocked. If he plays at all, I'll be, unless maybe we're winning the game 7-0 and then they bring him on, I'll be very shocked because I don't know how he got into the team in the first place, but that's not what we're talking about. For today, he did quite, the coach did quite well with everything that he did. So I'll give the coach a, what did I say, 7.5 out of 10. So yes, let me know if you agree or disagree with my ratings. Feel free. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my ratings. And of course, if you want to join the stream, if you want to share your thoughts, the link has been posted on YouTube. Make sure you click the link. Make sure you have your camera on. You are in a good setting. Please be fully clothed. And yes, I'll give you some moments to share your thoughts. Super chat comment here from Kolexi. Thank you very much. He says, great game by the Super Eagles. Uzoho showed improvement. Ryan is a good backup. Oyedika, excellent. But I thought he would struggle if we play a team who plans to be dominant. What is your take on Osimhen starting and rate Shell? Okay, so yes, I already rated Shell. Of course, we must have sent this before that. Talking about Onyedika and if we play a team who plans to be dominant. Again, there's not many teams that I think can dominate the Super Eagles per se. But there are teams that are strong and that can have a good game and a good midfield against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, Onyedika will have his work cut out if he's playing against a Senegal, that have quality in their midfield versus, of course, a Uganda that has less quality. He might not be able to dominate the midfield like he did today. But the thing with Onyedika is that the fundamentals are always the same. His passing is always accurate. He's always getting into the box, into good positions, in and around the penalty area. He does those things right. If we're playing against a stronger team, you would need an Ndidi with him. You cannot play Onyedika as your defensive, holding, ball-winning midfielder. That's not his game. That's not his game. So I think if you want him to do well against a team that is more dominant, then you would have to make sure that he has somebody there that is supporting him and is doing the defensive work. And Onyedika is more so just breaking the ball out of play, linking up with the attacking players and trying to make things happen. My take on Osimhen starting, in my preview, I said I wanted Osimhen to start. Reason being, I wanted Osimhen to try to get a goal. I want him to go up the goal scoring charts. I want him to build that confidence. This AFCON is looking very similar to the last AFCON, where every time we'll come and say, Osimhen played well, Osimhen played well, Osimhen played well, but did he score? No, he did not score. It's looking very similar to that last AFCON, and that's why I wanted him to start, because I thought against the Ugandan side, he might be able to get some chances and be able to score and just boost his confidence and boost his ginger. I'm a Nigerian, I'm a Super Eagles fan, so whoever scores, I'm happy as long as we win. But Osimhen is our star boy. Osimhen is our talisman. Ademola Lookman is carrying the team right now, and I want Osimhen to carry his own weight along with Ademola Lookman. So I wanted Osimhen to start. I thought maybe he would start and maybe he has gotten 1 or 2 goals and then they can sub him off by like the 55th or 60th minute. So I wasn't mad at it. I was surprised that he lasted 87 minutes on the field because obviously he didn't need to play that long. But I think that the coach also wanted him to get his goal. And that's why he kept him on the field for that long, hoping that his moment will come. Unfortunately, it didn't come. So now we're looking at Victor Osimhen 3 matches into the AFCON, and statistically, he has 1 goal and 1 assist, which he got both against Tunisia. I predicted Osimhen to be player of the tournament and highest goal scorer. It doesn't really look like that prediction is going to come right the way it's going because they would always favor statistics when they are talking about who the best players are. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we praise him so much for his goal scoring statistics and everything. So I still believe that Osimhen will come alive in the knockout rounds. I really hope so and believe so. But so yeah, I wasn't mad at him starting today. I thought that was okay. Just did not expect him to play as long as he did. I just didn't expect him to play as long as he did. Um, Coming from Victor Cobham, he says Onwachu is surprisingly technically good for someone his size, unlike Tolu. Yes, I said it. Please, let's leave Tolu alone. Tolu is getting ready for his Premier League match this evening, playing against United. He's getting ready to lose again. So let's leave him to focus on that. And it's not shit on him. Wolves, they're just a very trash team. They always lose. But yes, shout out to Onwachu for his performance today. Okay, let me bring people on. Let's get your thoughts on the game. Each person will have about 5 minutes to be able to share their thoughts. And yes, we'll be able to wrap up this show in the next 30-ish minutes. Welcome, Austin. Thank you for joining me.
Yes. Long time no see. It's been a while, but congrats to you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
I sent you a message on the side about the newsletter or the magazine, but we can talk later of that.
Okay.
In terms of the team, I think the coach did well. Position in terms of system that we were playing, I guess if you call it 4-4-2 diamond or 4-1-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it, we're doing well. The boys are doing, they did okay today. Granted, the team that we played against. But I think, like I said, I was talking to someone, I was saying that we need to be careful in the counters. I made a comment about Chukwueze. I'm actually impressed. This is probably one of his best games that he has played for the Super Eagles. Crosses that he made today were good. I like the confidence that he exuded trying to dribble. But one thing I've always, again, I'm not a professional. I like to, I've commented about his system of play in terms of positioning on the field, being disciplined. Because again, if you follow him in Italy, AC Milan, that has been I think one of his issues. Sometimes he doesn't get played that much of. Even when he was playing in Villarreal, the same thing. Yes, attacking wise and flair, he's got it in terms of being disciplined in his position. I think that's where he kind of liked a little bit. And the goal that we scored today was partly his fault, partly, and because Paul and Dele was trying to cover that right position, then they moved the ball in the middle. Onyedika couldn't cover. Bruno stepped up to cover. They played the ball through, and it was a goal. Again, all in all, mistakes happen. No one is perfect, but I think he did very well. Igor Abu, I think, did very, very well. I'm saying that he might be a potential captain because he was vocal. I know it's a tough call to make, but he was very vocal, directing on Yedika even when they had about to calm down certain times. If you notice the passionate partnership that he had with Bassi was very good. Both seemed to have speed. They kind of alternated who attacked and who defended a bit more. They covered each other quite well. When Chidoze came in, it was unbalanced a bit. I think maybe with age that Ibazu kind of bothered him a little bit, at times. Or maybe just, he's not used to the pace. Because I guess he just went back to France from US. So, It will come. I expect them to gel a bit more. In terms of Ryan, I thought Ryan did very well. Delivery, yeah, that might come later on. Um, and that thing in terms of how we crossed the ball in this game was much better. I think for the tournament, we have to just decide what system of play the coach wants us to play, if he wants us to cross more or not. Because if we talk about Victor Osimhen, obviously watching him in Turkey, he likes to get the ball in the air to head the ball across, which is basically what he does. And most teams that we're playing here are playing much more defensive. So we're holding the ball more, but the crosses are not coming either quicker for him or not coming, in an accurate way for him. But that's something that I think either we work on it in our practices, or we figure out that system of play. One thing I will also say is how many shots did we take?
In the game,
How many shots? Yeah, in our game today, or even in the past
we
few
had
games,
13 shots in the game.
from outside the box or inside the box, Ayo.
I mean, you
Okay.
asked how many shots.
No, but I mean I mean shot. These days they count shots for anything. Any ball we kick, you kick onto the goal.
We
They
had
count
okay,
as
so
shots.
we had 9 shots inside the box, 4 outside.
Correct. So, but again, for our side, this is a team that relatively okay team. Again, I think that we need to explore those options a bit more. Our crosses need to be a bit more. In terms of Moses Simon, he did very well today. I will think people might criticize that he's holding the ball too long, but again, that's part of who he is. If you follow me in France, that's what he does. But I think the coach needs to decide: do we? Well, the question is, do we have wingers that actually run and cross the ball? Or do we have wingers that hold the ball and dribble and try to create space for themselves and then cross? But again, these are things that we need to work out a little bit more as a team and as a coaching pattern. In terms of Dele, I thought they did very well, but I think he gassed out a little bit in the second half, which to
Mm.
your point, I think we should have brought in Ebenezer, and we brought in Nandi, which I thought was good. Give them a fresh, some fresh leg to play. Again, I was actually surprised that Nandi played a bit more forward because at times, when he tried to drop, him and Onyedika kind of seemed to kind of playing in the same line.
Mm.
But that's just my observation. I could be wrong. What are your thoughts on it too as well? From the midfield as well. Could we have used? I know you mentioned bringing Ebenezer a little bit further and a little earlier, but I thought for me, even removing Onyedika and bringing Namdi and Ebenezer to come in and just play. Let them. We're already winning. I don't expect Uganda to score 2 goals, to tie like we did against they did against Tunisia. But still, that's just my thoughts on that.
No, I mean you're right. Even if you look at the heat map from Toshiko Nadia in today's game, even though he only played about 13 minutes, he was more in the opposition's half than in our half. So he was a bit more advanced. Now, could that just be because of how the game was going and that we're in control? Could that have been instruction from the coach? Um, when I look at Tochukwu, I see him more as a ball winner, more as a tackler. That's what he does.
Mhm.
So you would naturally expect him to be the deeper of the two midfielders. But again, the coach, one thing that he does when he plays maybe like an Ndidi and Onyeka is that he likes Onyeka to be more advanced and try to win the ball higher up the field. So maybe that's what he wanted from Tochukwu Nadi today. Would have, if we had maybe 45 minutes on him, I think I would have a better perspective on what exactly the coach wanted from him. But you know, not too much that I can say about it today.
So to the point you made about having Onyeka and Ndidi, which they seem to balance each other. What I noticed from the last game we played, when we played Onyeka on the right side, he did okay job. But naturally, you see that he drifts in a little bit. People were complaining how Samuel was having a lot of difficult time on the right side. But again, when a player is naturally moving into his natural position, the openers obviously will have to figure that out. And they were overloading on our right hand side, giving Samuel a lot of pressure. People were complaining how he wasn't holding up himself. But again, this is again something that either the coach needs to balance how he plays the players to their strengths. I would say to their strength. Again, it's all tactics. I know it's a tournament game, competition. We're not just playing a season where you can think and think any way you want, and it'll be difficult for him to say to have one system and play that system throughout. I
Yeah.
don't think that would be sensible. But I think overall, so far, I think we are doing well. My concern is that when we face a much more tougher opposition, how can we hold up? especially counter attacking. Again, when we lose ball in transition, that's why I use what counter attacking. When we lose ball in transition, how do we really hold up and balance properly?
Mm.
You know, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Austin. I have to let you go now just because I
Thank you
have
very much.
people that are waiting, but I appreciate you joining and sharing your perspective.
Pleasure. Take care, man.
All
Cheers.
right. That was Austin. Made some good points. Spoke about Nadi. Talked about how we'll do against other teams going forward. It's going to be an interesting one to see. The bracket is slowly but surely shaping up for the knockout rounds. I'm honestly very excited. One thing with us is that for better or for worse, we always get the more difficult side of the bracket. We actually always get the more difficult side of the bracket, and it's going to be interesting to see how we hold up. I think already on our side, we have Algeria, we have Morocco, we have South Africa on our side of the bracket. So if we do, or when we do get to the final, that we would have had to have taken down some of the strong competition in this tournament. So it could be an interesting one. And who knows, depending on what happens in Group F, we can still maybe potentially face Cameroon in the next round. We can potentially face Ivory Coast in the next round. It all depends on what happens in their group when the games wrap up. You would expect Cameroon to beat Mozambique. You would expect Cote d'Ivoire to beat Gabon, but this is football, man. Stranger things have happened in football, and this is AFCON. And we know how teams tend to mess up when it comes to AFCON sometimes. So it's going to be an interesting one to see who we match up in round of 16. But yes, let me bring on the next caller. Kulex Z10. Thank you for joining me once again.
Yeah, thanks. I will see. Let me see if I can rotate the screen. Yeah. Okay. So what do I think about today's game? Yeah, I think it was a good game. I already did my most of the roundup of the stuff during the super chat. What I would say is that I wasn't sure if it was your show or Smith Live show. When I talked about tactics, I like to talk about tactics a lot because I think it's not just about the scoreline; it's about seeing improvement in the team. Watch out for what the coach is trying to do. One of the things I said was that one of the things I thought would help the Super Eagles a lot in terms of attacking wise and shoring up our defensive line is not to let the two fullbacks go out at the same time. And I did say that maybe try to keep a three-man defense, more or less switch when we are with the ball in a 3-5-2 system, such that one of the fullbacks can then run up the wing. And I think that's what Chelsea did with Ryan today because he was more forward than
Yeah.
Bruno to kind of keep three on the back in case there is transition at in terms of we lose possession in the middle. And I think he worked out quite well. The other thing I think we're slowly getting with Paul is one of the things we missed in terms of an outlet should the team decide to opposition team should decide to push forward, which was you have to go long ball. And that was what he was trying to do with DR Congo, with Tolu, but he was absolutely terrible with it. Can't control the ball from the air, hold up play, bring in players in. Paul was brilliant with that today. And it's different dimension to games. And that, like I said the aim for this Ghana match is not just about winning, it's about finding three or four sub players we know who the starting lineup to be that can not only switch the game for us if we need to do some tactical changes. And I think that's what Chelsea is looking at. Let's say we are chasing the game, Alcon needs to come out and then he brings Onachu in while he keeps Osimhen in the game. What's the way? How do we break down defenses? Which would mean long ball through. Onachu seems to be more that tall guy that can hold the play, link up the play, and give us a different dynamics. And then also having two tall strikers who are kind of a little bit okay in the box in terms of movement and things like that also gives us a different dynamics going into the knockout stages, which I think is good. I like the way he held his game very well and in terms of Onuachu, and I think it's a good tactics by the coach. The top thing I think we haven't done, which he tried this game, which was a good time to try it, is switch of play. If you watch the way we've been playing up under shell till now, we don't do a lot of switch of play. But we did a lot of switch of play today, which actually opened up the opposition a lot because
Bassett.
there were a lot of going on my sorry, I think I lost just a minute. I'm not sure what's going on with my phone. It
Yeah,
keeps going
you're
off.
back now. We can hear you now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think the switch of play was really good in the sense that I like the way he did it and it worked well. Bassi was instrumental in that. Um, you could tell they were playing to instruction. And number four thing as well is the tactics in terms of the passing, in terms of triangle passing and quite a lot of things like that. I think a good team needs to learn all these basic things effectively. And Super Eagles seems to be doing that very well for now, even irrespective of who we have played. I think they are getting more confident on the ball and passing the ball pretty well. I think Oyedika's role, I don't know what your take is. Do you think, would you put him in the starting lineup in the knockout stages based on how he's played today? Or would you say is that Joker in some matches? And what kind of case scenario do you see him playing for Super Eagles going forward? I don't know what your thoughts are
I
on
mean,
that, tactically speaking.
it really depends on who we're facing. It really depends on who we're
Mhm,
facing.
mhm,
Um, Unfortunately for him, I think his main competition for that spot in the lineup is Alex Iwobi, because Iwobi tends
mm,
to be our deep line playmaker, and
mhm,
you know that Iwobi is more influential when it comes to playmaking than Rafael Oidika. Yes, Oidika got 2 goals today. Iwobi doesn't have goals to his tally, but again, we played against a weaker side in Uganda.
mhm, mhm.
I don't think that if we're playing against a Morocco, a Senegal, and Ivory Coast, Cameroon, he might not have that kind of space in the midfield to be able to just get into the box and literally be standing unmarked, in the box and get a shot off. So I wouldn't necessarily just slot him into the lineup. Again, because again, I think it's against a stronger team. Like I said earlier, I think Onyedika needs a stronger ball winner playing beside him, which would be probably an Ndidi. But if we're playing against a team, maybe say we play Mozambique in the next round, a team that we
Mhm.
can actually dominate possession, I would play him. Again, for me, I like that Onyedika does the fundamental things very well.
That's right.
Just plays. I can't buy. I said the start earlier. Completed, I think, was 92. Only misplaced about 2, 3 passes in today's game. Plays the right pass most of the time. Gets forward and finds himself in good areas in the box. His third man run that he made for the first goal today was good.
Mhm.
The second goal from a different position in the midfield, just finding that space in the box. So I like the fact that he does the simple things right. He's not the flashiest of players. He's not the most energetic of players. So if we're playing a two-man midfield, I would probably play in Didi and Iwobi like we've been doing. But if we're playing against a team, maybe we want Iwobi to be able to be more advanced and we want
Mhm.
him to play deep line, then I would play Onyedika. Or as a substitute in the second half, we can always bring him on. Well, 1 minute, please, so that I can bring somebody else on. But yeah, please go on.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what do you think about playing Iwobi, Onyedika, and Injidi in the middle,
I
and then
mean,
replacing them with Oyenka?
I kind of already stated at that. I think if you want it will be to be more advanced, then I
Yeah.
can do that. Onyeka has the energy factor, the box to box factor
Hmm.
ahead of Onyedika. So if you want somebody that is going to cover all that ground for you and be able to track back and be able to cover on the sides, then Onyeka is probably going to be selected ahead of Onyedika. But I think
Hmm.
in a game where we want control and we're not thinking too much. I mean, you're always thinking about the defensive side of the game, but in a game where you want more control and you're not too scared of the oppositions and their potential to hit you,
Attacking prowess. Yeah.
then I would go Onyedika ahead of Onyeka for sure.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. In terms of the lapses, which has always been a common error, it's a simple fix if you ask me, but it requires a lot of defensive maturity, which is what we don't have. You need two centre back pairings who understand and read the game from the back, especially when we lose the ball. And then they need to be able to speak and communicate with the other players that are loose ends to tell them quickly, shout at them who they should be tracing. I think that's what we lack when we are, especially when we lose the ball, when we are not expecting it. And I see that that goal and few of the goals we considered is not tracking certain type of players. And I think you see, there was no reason for me. I know people were talking about Dele Bashiru, but I think there was no reason why Onyedika should step up in that regard because the person that actually scored the goal ran behind him. So he was beside him, which is part of the issues we've always had with him defensively. That some for reason you just see him around the danger person, but it doesn't just find his way to cut out the danger person. Because if he had continued, as opposed to stepping up, because Dele Bashiru and the other guy were already ahead, if he had pursued and continued with that guy, the person who picked that pass would think twice, or even if he eventually did, it would have been a bit easier. I think that's one of the things we probably need to work on defensively when we lose the transition. Like just it's simple. Just pick one person and go with the person. Look for that person, read the game, the danger person. One person should just follow that person to the very end and just get them. I don't think a lot of players are very skillful and direct. That if you follow them to the end, they can still maneuver their way out. Except the top teams who have very skillful players in the real sense of it. And I said, I know you did say Zoe has improved with his footwork. And I agree with you on that. Well, it's just a game. It's a single game. It didn't have more to do in terms of shot stopping, which I would have loved to see before we can give an overall assessment. But I think in terms of the spread of game, the footwork, I could see some, even though when he first gave the corner kick, I was like, the goal kick, and he gave it out to someone to pass, like, what's going on here? But I still see some lapses because I don't know if it was deliberate. That's what I can't tell. If you notice, the goal kicks were going to this very, very side where Onacho had to trade. I would have thought goal kicks would have gone centrally.
I would like to believe that that was a deliberate action.
I hope so. I hope so because I don't know if it was deliberate or I hope it is because it happened a number of times.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
know Onacho had to start running that direction to control the ball from that point. But then he had Simon in that position as well, so almost felt make it look. Obviously, most goalkeepers will play a little bit to the side, but more or less centrally
Yeah, yeah.
after the middle third, and that's what I would have expected the goal kicks to be. I don't think any of his goalkeepers can strong enough to get to that point, which is part of what I was saying that there's a range for him. But I think in terms of I didn't have any jitteriness, so it's too early to say it's Uganda, but at least that is a bit better in that regards, and I think some level of maturity is in his game in a way. I think the boys did well. I always like the tactics, and it's been a long time, long time coming. A very long time we've seen Super Eagles play, like have a coach, and we play where you can appreciate tactics, the tactic side of football. We're not just roughing it around. And I think sometimes he will give us a hedge because I just think Shell just has a way of understanding the opponent. I think he's gifted in that thing, just understanding the opponent and coming up with something because we played differently in all the games we've played. And it just seems to be able to open up the opposition, especially when we, based on the way he sets up his team. And I think it's a good plus, which is maybe one of the things that is giving me confidence going forward in this competition. And like I said to a few of my friends, I think it's not about the result. Wherever we finish, yeah, we're already on the top side of the competition because as it stands, we could there's a world where we could even play DR Congo safe, as it's going. Yeah, which is going to be another difficult, tricky one to see. But I think overall we are going in the right direction. I just hope NFF does not start their moment of madness, irrespective of where this competition ends, and not appreciate some of the improvements in the team, some of the improvements in the play, and just decide to do something stupid and say, okay, want to sack Tell or even just we know how they do. I just hope they don't self sabotage the team as well. And kudos to Simon. At least it showed something that most people were talking about today about maybe if he was a captain, blah blah blah. I think he had a very good captain performance. Maybe I think part of that gameplay was part of it in terms of the captain performance, and it was smart in the way he applied himself. I don't think he expressed a lot of energy, which is why I wasn't happy he stayed too long. I would have thought 60 minute max. But even though he stayed that long, he wasn't pushing too much for the goal. And you could tell that some of the runs you would expect him to make and the energy you would expect him to burn, he didn't burn so much of it. I hope it's not because he's carrying one small injury, but or just because he wants to manage himself. He understands this is just the third place. And maybe that's the agreement he had with the coach. I think that's the agreement they had with the coach that, okay, fine, you play in case you can get some goal, but take it very easy. And I also said something about Osimhen that I think
Yeah,
will
I
help
have
us in AFCON.
people will start fighting me if I
Yeah,
don't
no,
give
that's
this.
the last thing I want to say. That's the last thing I want to say. That I said that if he can change his game, everyone always expects that when he gets the ball, he's going for goal, he's shooting. I think sometimes cut back, do the pass. He's done it twice in the last two games. If he can keep up with that, and then when people start thinking about it, then change it again, become unpredictable, and then watch out for the offside trap. I think that's it. Overall, I'm quite happy with everything.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you very much. Always nice talking to you. I could talk to you more, but I have people waiting and
Yeah, I
everybody will start
understand.
demanding the same amount of time then. Before we know
No
it,
worries, no worries.
the day has
I
finished and
understand.
still
Thank you
here.
very much.
So, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, all right. That was Kumexi. Very, very, very insightful breakdown and suggestions for sure. Somebody in the comments are saying Kumexi, you should now get your coaching badges. So definitely was enjoying what you said. Quick super chat comments here from Charles. It says, "Happy New Year, your team, and the boy was amazing. Onyedika is really good at intricate passing and controlling the tempo. Simon needs to up his game." So yes, happy with Onyedika. I'm assuming I don't know who the boy. I think maybe Onyedika is the boy you're talking about. But also still saying that Moses Simon needs to give him a little bit more. Okay, Mr. Alex T, welcome.
Hey, AyoT, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How you feeling, man? You feeling better?
I'm
sounded
feeling,
you're feeling,
man,
feeling better.
Super Eagles are
Okay.
helping, thankfully.
I said Super Eagles are happy. Of course, they're happy. All of us. It was a good game. It's hard to say something bad about when you win. Especially you score 3 goals. It's hard. But of course, I think one of the person everybody's been saying Osimhen. It's like when you have that captain band, man. There's something it brings, man. I don't know what's in there for that captain band, man. When you're the captain, man, it brings a whole different. I see Osimhen was like everybody was saying. I think they wanted Osimhen to score, to have more confidence, to score. If not, there's no reason Osimhen should stay in the game till that time. And Osimhen, know they vex today. They don't give him pass. Vex. He don't do nothing.
You're right about that. Even there was a time that people wanted to fight. Osimhen was the one that was breaking up and saying, I said, Osimhen, tell people to calm down. I was like, okay.
When the goalie, the first goalie for Uganda team, he was going to, talk to him. Hey, it's okay. Even the second goalie too, you can see when we got the red card. Osimhen wasn't quarreling. He wasn't doing, I don't know if he's a captain ban or anything, but Osimhen, I give kudos to him today, man. He plays real. I mean, he always play like a team player, but today there was an extra about him that he just showed. He was calm. He was just playing, not to even care about the scoring. But I know they wanted him to score. I know that's why. If not, he doesn't have no reason. Him and Kevin Bassey, after that first half, they should have been gone. And for Kevin Bassey, man, we don't know what he will get, man. I knew if England knew that Kevin Bassey would be this good at this time. I think he's the most improved Nigerian player. Kevin Bassey, from the time I saw him in Ajax to Rangers, I think he has been the most improved player. He's a really I like a defender that is a ball player. They don't just kick the ball out. Hold the ball play. And that's what I like about that Ogbu guy too. I like him. I like him because he doesn't just kick the ball away. And I was seeing he was doing the same thing Kevin was doing. All his passes was like, when he played that long ball, it was always accurate. So I think I like him. And why is him now is a player that I'm scared about red card, getting the card. Because the way he tackles, sometimes he doesn't time his tackle. But I think I would prefer the Ogbu over Wazim. For me, that's personal. And I think that Kelvin yellow card was really soft yellow card, man. That's not a yellow card. I mean, that was soft.
I think they probably got it because the ref thought he was stopping a potential, attacking opportunity. Not that it was a bad tackle, but
now Nigeria Wishe boy want to show himself.
What is it?
Nigeria Wishe want to show you. Nigeria boy play for Ghana. He wanted to show himself. He wanted to show himself. Like, hey, he did good. But Kevin Bassey handled it, and when Awazim came, Awazim handled it too. So that was good. Again, I'm a Bruno fan. I like Bruno. I think he's a very skillful. I think I listened to his interview where he said he started from midfield. He's a midfielder.
Yeah.
Before he went to the left back. He's a very good.
When he first joined the youth setup in Nigeria, they used to call him Junior Ehenacho.
Yeah, the guy is very skillful, man. I mean, you can see his passes. He still have something to work in the defensive side, but you can see the way he plays. But I think he has an understanding when he plays with Lookman. With Simon, I don't see understanding because Simon game is like, I don't know. Simon needs to improve, man. I mean, I don't think this time there's no improvement. I think he's going to go anyway with the Super Eagles. He won't continue after this Nations Cup, maybe. I don't know. But there's something about Simon, man. He's like, yeah, he did some dribbles, he cutting some balls, but he holds the ball too much. He allowed the defenders to recover quick. When you hold the ball too long, the opponent defenders recover so quick. So he needs to change that part of his game a little bit, just a little bit, and be straightforward, like cut back, pass the ball. Ryan, I like Ryan. I've seen one player that at least he can cut the ball to the left and pull out ball. I mean, I see him sometimes cutting back to his left, and he can use his left leg to cut out. So I like him. He's a good player. He can pass the ball one time. He doesn't want to do mistake. Play. It's good game. Good, great. I think this was a good game for Onyedika. This was a perfect game because, like you said, this is not like a very commanding, strong, physical midfielders. And this game was just perfect for Onyedika. It was perfect for him. I mean, a lot of people are not his fan because I think his ability is not in doubt. He's a very good player. But when it comes to, if I say Ivory Coast, maybe Cameroon, some other kind of team that have like physical, technical players, it might not play this well today. But this game was a good game for him because it had all the space. You can see Uganda they're not that forceful in midfield. They're not strong. They're not like really tackling. If you play some kind, when they play some kind African players, man, the physicality, man, is not what Onyedika needs. But today's game, it was perfect for him. I think he took his chances. He might not start the next game, but he took his chances very well. I think that 9 where you give him, he deserved that 9. That 9 star, he got it. Onyedika did well. Another person I want to mention is who I was going to mention, Dele Bashir. Dele Bashir is a good guy. He's a good player. Is like you said, is the person that can hold the ball and drive forward. But sometimes he hold the balls too much when he's driving forward. The ball that he's supposed to pass, he doesn't want to pass. There was one ball, it was like all the way out of the 18-yard box, man. He was trying to shoot. I was like, yo, there are people right there that you can pass to, So, but like I said, everybody did well. Chukwueze did well, although he was doing some too much. But today it was like the one that was being like you will be kind of today. He was getting the ball. You can see everybody's going to him, giving him the ball. He was doing the passes and fine. Hey, man, I don't know. There's nothing too much to say. I can't even talk about the goalkeeper because he didn't have nothing to do anyway. So, I mean, only the one mistake way, but don't make it. So I can't say anything about him. The 6 way you give him. I think you gave him like 6. It's not bad.
6 or 6.5, but yeah.
Yeah. The 6 you gave him, he was okay. He didn't do too much, And I like that, what's his name? The guy that came in second half, the midfielder, Toshuku. I really like that kid. I think it's it's a very good player. I think he's a very good player. I mean, I like midfielders that don't shy away from the ball. They're not running away. If you give me a pass, I will give you back kind of midfielders. He calls for the ball. I think that was Onyedika's problem is give me the pass, I will give pass quick, make I no spoil ball type of. I watch him in his club side, he plays like that. Like you give him ball, you pass back. You give him ball, you pass back. You give him ball, he pass back. I want midfielders that can hold the ball, look up and play. But he's a good player. He has ability. He can play well. Eric Shell did the right thing. And I was disappointed that Dessa didn't come in the game. At least this would have been a game.
So maybe he's hurt or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I really wanted to see Dessa at least give him a chance. The guy don't try, man. Give him a chance. He can play one Nations Cup game. He might not play any game again after today. So give him a chance, let him play, but I was disappointed. I wanted to see Dessa. I like him and I like him. I wanted to see him. But I think overall it was a good game. Eric Shell did good. Bring out he brought up a lot of people just to play, But yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. Nothing to say when you win. Nothing to say bad when you win, Yeah. But thank you, man.
Thank you very much, Alex T. Always nice to hear from you. Thank you. Alrighty. Good game. Made some good points as well. Uche, shout out to Uche. He's a member of the channel. He says, I like that AGK was benched. Well, yeah, let's keep it okay with one comment here from another member. Victor Cobham says Mozambique is a crazy team to play against, and I believe they've embarrassed Cameroon in recent times. Okay, talking about our potential round of 16 opposition. We wait for tomorrow's games to confirm exactly who we're going to face. But yes, let me take the next caller. Sean, welcome. You're muted. Unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I like this man. Very good football is very good. I just feel that if I should have come earlier, but I wouldn't need to work up easily because this man is a good manager. Good tradition is there, and he made good call on today. Because today, for the first time in like 15 years, play pattern. Last time I played like this was under Lagamak in 2010. It's pattern. After that, it can follow. But this time around, it's not that they play pattern and purpose. They play pattern and for now, I'm very happy for him because it means they won't have gone. It's quite difficult too. Are you better than Tolu? That will be better than Tolu. That was true. Than Tolu. And for Sime, Captain Fantastic Day, maturity, and for me, it's just more composed than this young man, Mwabali. Me play against Uganda. So on the basis of 10, team trial, I give team 8/10 because they play very well. I just feel that if Benjamin Fanta was done better. And Francis and batting is a perfect defender, and I like Obuchu. The playing defender can play pass. It's better than this young man called this guy Awazim. All of them are OD defender. I like Bruno plays today, and I like this good play with 2 assists today. It goes now. It goes 9. It goes away now. It goes down nowadays. 3-3-2. It goes away now. That's quality. So that's good for the team. And but the manager, I think, is trying best. If the can move to final AFCON, and this man, they can keep this man think, get him player that he wants in this team. This will be better because imagine having people like this man in midfield, Itamane in the midfield for Nigeria, and also Leslie Gochuk for Nigeria. That be good. And getting that academy league in the winger, they better be updated on team. For Simon, try today, and for again. Tunadi, he tried to. I want to see the guy play football for Nigeria. But man don't play at all. Overall, good game, good victory. Let's see what happens. I got better our last AFCON result in the first we one win, 2 win, and one draw now, but 3 straight win. So good luck to that. Thank you very much, AyoT.
All right, thank you very much. Nice to hear from you. Very, very concise. Very well taken thoughts. Just on the point of our last AFCON, it was 2 goals and 1 assist. 2 wins and 1 draw. And then this time we have 3 wins in the group stage. Last time we had 3 wins in the group stage. I'm sure you guys remember what happened. It didn't end up too good for us in the next round, but we hope for something different this time. This time the team actually, in fact, to be honest, that last time too, when we won 3 games in the group, the team looked very, very good in the group stage, and then in the round of 16, we just couldn't hack it. But I'm very confident. I said this year we have to do one better than we did at the last AFCON. So I tipped the team to go all the way to the trophy this time around, and I think it's possible as long as they keep playing the way they are playing right now. Why not? But yes, let me bring on the next caller. Sam, welcome.
Ayo, nice to be on your channel once again. Yeah, good game overall today. Good game overall. I don't think there's any room for complaints. The coach did what he was supposed to do. He already qualified. The best thing to do was to try new legs. Let's see what the other guys can do. So it was a very, good game from the guys today. Uzoho wasn't really called much to action. I just expected, I know the last caller said, he has some sort of confidence than Wabali. I don't think so exactly. There were some balls that I was expecting Uzoho to make certain runs to grab those balls, but it was always laid back at the post. So I think Wabali still has that urgency better than Uzoho, but overall, good game. Ryan had a very good game. I like it that we kind of have a substitute that we can have confidence in if anything happens to Osayi. It's rare to see a debutant play 90 minutes overall, and Ryan held his own today. He played the full 90 minutes, and I think he had a pretty decent game. Like, you had to debut on AFCON, not a friendly game, and you held your own. We weren't seeing those lapses like we saw the last time from Osayi because he was tired, of course. So good game for him today. I like it that, he can challenge in that role as well. Bruno, I like the confusion Bruno is putting between in Rochelle's head. Before now, we were thinking Zaidu came and got that position to his own. But I like that fight Bruno came back with. They gave him a shot to win back the position, and he has done fundamentally well so far. I only sometimes see him, his recovery sometimes is a little slow. Sometimes when he goes to the front, I just wish like he can realize on time and return on time. But overall, good game for him today. Fisayo Dele Bashiru, yes, nice game for him, but we haven't really seen that Bashiru knew during the AFCON and World Cup qualifiers. I felt like during the AFCON and World Cup qualifiers, Bashiru was fire until he got that injury. And then post-injury, playing for Super Eagles, he's still kind of trying to find that balance again. But he had a decent game today. It was a good assist to Onuachu he gave, and we got that first goal. So, decent game for him. Moses Simon, I can't say so much about him. He didn't really have a poor game. He made some good cutbacks and passes in the box that was supposed to be a goal for Chukwueze, but unfortunately we couldn't take that. So I wouldn't really fault his game today, but sometimes I feel like his only problem is he keeps running into traffic. And several times we lost the ball because of that too. So if he can actually time his run, know when to release the ball, I feel like we'll get that.
Speaking about running into traffic, so let's cut you off. I feel like that's his game, like that's his style. He sees men and he wants to take on men. The reason why I don't get mad at it is because look, we've lost that art of wing play where wingers actually run at people. You watch some of the exciting wingers in the world today, the likes of Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku is going to see two players and he's going to believe that, what, I'll go there, I'll do flip-flap, I'll run in between them and I'll be able to create something. Now, 50% of the time, you probably lose the ball.
Yeah.
But it's that excitement that the person brings. For me, I'm not mad at it. In fact, I even get more frustrated when he gets the ball and then he now slows down.
Give a back pass.
Yeah, you now play the pass back. I'm like, okay, so you just wasted our time for what? But when you're running at somebody, sometimes and when it works, it looks good. But sorry, go on.
But I'd rather he passes the ball back than go for that run and loses the ball. And back it used to be the style of play that was really entertaining to watch. One of the reasons why we hold Babangida very high esteem is because of those kind of runs. Babangida won't go back. He will run at you and he will beat you with that speed and trick. But overall, good game for what's his name? Moses Simon. Calvin Bassey still remains our Mr. Consistent. I think this is the how many minutes is hard before he was taken off. Bassey had never been taken off in his last like almost 12 or 15 games for Super Eagles. He has never been taken off. And I thought he would have finished the game, but for that yellow card. I think Eric Chair was just, let me play safe before, we get some sort of a drama in this game. And that was why he was taking. But Bassey is Mr. Consistent. Ikbazu was thinking he was by Mozu, but of course, Bassey matched him in every way and every. Bassey made him play like he didn't play nothing today. And I like that from Calvin Bassey. Igor Ogu, he deserves, I don't see him as that guy yet. He still has a long way to make his mark in the team. Chukwueze was great. In the first time, I didn't really see so much from him. But in the second half, he became that Chukwueze we knew about, stringing passes, running into defenders, crosses coming and all of that. So Chukwueze too it would have been difficult to predict who would be the man of the match between Chukwueze and Onyedika, But, kudos to Onyedika. He really cleared our doubt. He cleared Eric Shell's doubt. Like, people have been asking, why is this guy not playing? He's a starter in his team. He's playing it week in, week out. Why don't we see him in Super Eagles? I get he made a good show today to give a good statement to Eric Shell, like, hey, if you put me, I can play. Don't judge me with 2 minutes. Don't judge me with 3 minutes. If you put me in a game, I can play. And such a way to make a statement. 2 goals to his name. Wonderful play today. Of course, Victor Osimhen, I wasn't even expecting him to play today. My opinion, I was thinking a series this out should have come in. I needed him to rest for our next stage. But, he played good captain today, made a few good runs, offside call. But I think I enjoyed seeing him more in that leadership, capacity, bringing the players together, motivating the players and all. Overall, Onuachu too, great guy. Very good substitution. I think he has given me a reason to justify his inclusion in the team ahead of Tolu Arokodare and all. The last time he played for Super Eagles was June 2024, and he's back now, and he has got a goal in the AFCON. Good game for him. We can only wish the team keeps getting better. On the coach part, I just wish he can time his substitution more. We want to see players get more playing time. There was no reason for Osimhen to play 80 minutes. Like, I was even scared, like, this guy they shouldn't give him a knock in this game and then, we risk him in the next game. It should just time the substitution. Hopefully, we are looking like, we are going to that part. I feel like the Super Eagles had made a statement in this tournament, and I feel like other teams now are being like, oh, Nigeria, I think we should be able to avoid Nigeria. You know, if you start your AFCON by winning all your 3 games and winning convincingly, I think you pose a threat. You're making a statement to the rest of the team, including the host. With the way the AFCON is going, officiating has been kind of in and out. It's pivoting like they really want a North African team at the final. But let's see what the likes of Super Eagles and, you know, Ivory Coast and others can do to these North African teams. Thank you, AyoT.
Thank you very much. And to your point, you know me, I always say, regardless of what the officiating is like, if you go there, you play your ball, you score your goals, they don't come out your goal. So you just have to do your best. But obviously, if you leave it in the hands of referees to make certain decisions, that's when it can always go against you. Because you see, you know, normally whenever people talk about referees, I'm always like, no, I don't look at all of that. But you can tell that some of the penalties, there was one that they did not give, I think Mali against Morocco, where the guy clearly stepped on the Mali and they didn't give it. Even the penalty they gave Tunisia today was a little
exactly.
bit,
And that's what I'm saying about these North African teams. Literally all of them in this tournament. And I'm not saying some of the calls for penalties are not, you know, deserve penalties.
Even the penalty they gave Tunisia against us.
They've been benevolent to these North African teams with penalties. All of them, Egypt has scored the penalty, Algeria has scored the penalty, Tunisia has scored the penalty, Morocco has scored the penalty. They get the softer end of the stick with officiating from what I've observed so far in this tournament. You know, but let's see how this plays out. I feel like CAF is trying to play some chess for Morocco and some other North African, allegedly. But let's see what this will lead to.
All right. Thank you very much, Sam. Nice hearing from you. I appreciate it. All righty. Let's quickly, we have 3 more callers, Tayo, then Udoka, and then Stay Humble. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone that's still engaging with us in the chats. Please make sure to hit the like button if you haven't done that already. If you are new here, welcome. Please subscribe. We're always live on all the match days. We have a host of content for you to watch, you know, strictly Nigerian and African football, the home of Nigerian football. You know, we're talking about Bruno AMH here as well. If you want to hear more about Bruno's story, you can, after this stream, go on the channel. I have an interview that I did with Bruno AMH, I think a year or so ago, where he talked about his entire football journey. You can hear about how he used to be a number 10 before he got dragged back to defense and all those kinds of things. So that would be an interesting watch if you don't know Bruno's story as much. But yes, let me bring Tayo on. Tayo, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much for this opportunity. It's my first time actually coming on your show.
Welcome. First time caller. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So you're doing a great job. I'll say keep it up, my brother. I'll just go straight to the match of today. I'm very happy with the coach because we are the most feared now in the competition. Reasons are, one, stats don't lie. I'm not sure how many teams would have 9 points at the end of the group stage. That's number one. And you see the gap between us and the next person, 4. It speaks volume. But I know that it has its pros and its cons. It means everybody is now putting an eye on Nigeria. When they are coming with all their power, their strength. They want to, fight us with all their might. But what it also puts is that it puts fear in their mind. Okay, so that's also a good thing. What I want to also say is that trying those new players today and having a decent game means that we actually have a reserve bench. Unlike what we all thought, that after the first 11, we may not really have people to, do the work. I'll start from Uzo. Uzo maybe was not really tested because he's Uganda. I see this match as another training match. With due respect to Uganda, but the quality that we would face going forward, I'm not sure that's the kind of quality that you would see that Uganda exhibited today. So it was a good one. Uzo gave a good report. That means if truly, now the problem is this: if Uzo is not a bad keeper, that's what she showed today. But I don't know, a half Wambali versus a full Uzo, which shall we go for? That's where the problem. Definitely, a fully fit Wambali is ahead of Uzo in the pecking order, from what I saw, my own analysis today. But a half Wambali and a full Uzo, I think the coaches, they have their work cut out for them on that regard, because I can't blame the goal entirely, today's goal on Uzo. His coordination was not bad. Communication was a problem, a little. You saw that one, I don't know which of the, Ogu or what, ballooned one ball, miscommunication between the defense, keeper and the, so that was there. So I say, as far as Uzo, a good, decent outing, Ryan Alebioshu definitely did his bit. Onyemachi, we have talked about the number 3 guy. He has showed that it's not that role, that place is not only for Zaidu again. There's competition there now, and I'm happy. He has showed that consistently 2 matches now. 2 of them, I will not give them excellent, but they are not bad as wingers. Good as defensive wingers. So fine. Ogu at least has showed that if something happens in the center defensive area, we have somebody to fit in and not kill us or give us hypertension. So that's what I would say there. As regards the midfield, I'm very excited. Why? Now, I would not say we are not going to change the fulcrum of, I wouldn't say we should change the fulcrum of Iwobi, Ndidi, and Onyeka. I would say that should be the starting. That should be the midfield starting. But we've got Onyemachi, the guy today. He's not just Indika. What did you say? Onyedika, thank you. See, it's not because he scored 2 goals. No, that's not the reason why I'm saying yes, he can act in that way. It's because he played a decent game, and I've been watching him in the Champions League. You don't play regularly for your team. See, there's another thing I wanted to quickly say. Have you observed that our players that are first 11 in their team play week in, week out? They are the ones that have shown up in this competition. The 3 from Fulham, they have not disappointed. You've seen that. Even, what's his name? The guy on the front that played today. No. That played today. Fulham. Fulham, yeah. Chukwueze, thank you. Sorry, I've forgotten names. Chukwueze, even if he's not coming as fast as the first 11, it's because of, I think, strategy. Not because he's not good. I think it's because of formation, most likely. Not because he's not good. And you saw what he has done today. So you see those people that are playing regular, they are kind of turning up because they are not much rusty. They can go the hall. You can see it with Osime. You can see it with the Fulham boys. You understand? So that consistency is important. Now, to quickly come to the midfield has showed today that those 3 people that will play normally are still going to be our main. But now, we have the option of the new guy today. Don't forget, Fisayo Bashiru can still play in that midfield. He's got roles to play, especially he has shown that he can also be a very good support on the right side in terms of defense ability. Do you understand? So those are options, and that's why I'm happy that we've seen these guys show up today, and they have shown that, yes, they are also football players. Nadi is going to be a Kante. Watch out for him. Watch out for him. He's in the process. Nadi is going to be a Kante. He is confident. He likes to fight. He likes to win balls. Everybody, you need a Kante. You need a disruptor of your opponent in everything. It is when you disrupt their play that you can now do a turnover. Okay, so I see Nadi as a future of the Eagles. He's a good disruptor. I've not seen his ability to pass, but I've seen his ability to win balls. I've seen his confidence. So it's a good choice for me. Now, going to attack. Onuachu is underrated. Not because he scored. I saw something peculiar about him. I was not his fan when he was in the Premiership. I think, was it Sunderland? Southampton, thank you. When they went on, I was not his fan. I felt he was sluggish. I felt maybe the pace of the Premiership was the problem. I don't know. But what I saw today, I saw somebody that has very good first touch and good ball handling. He has that. He's able to link up play. Now, he did a lot of falling back into midfield today, and that was nice. But my fear is that if we meet a high-tempo game, can you replicate Singh? That's my fear. Will he just be standing in front and not be able to come down into the midfield to support the midfield and then link up again, you know? So that is the only thing that needs to be answered. But as per today's game, I would say Onuachu did very well. He showed that in the box, outside the box, is effective. The goal he scored is a standard strikers, in fact, European strikers goal. You see that some other striker will miss that ball. He jumped into it. He had to jump into the ball to reach it, though he's got long legs, no doubt. But he jumped into it and got the ball and made the goal. And do you know that that goal was one of the things that killed Kenya, that killed Uganda today? That goal killed them. You know, I give it to Osimhen. Osimhen was captain fantastic today. He did a very good job. You know, he was calm, the leadership role, you know, and which is very commendable. I don't know, maybe we should give him more of that role so that you can calm his temperature. So, but I think Osimhen also gave good link up. In fact, there's the one that Onuachu missed. I was surprised. I already shouted "go." I said, "How can he miss this sitter?" You know, but it's football, and I think he quickly repaid it with the goal within a few minutes later, and that was the goal I scored. So I would say, on the whole, the coach has done well. On the whole, I would say now we can prepare for our opponents in different ways, because the way you play different opponents varies. So we have different approach and people that we can use to execute different approaches. That's another thing for us now. We've scored from crosses, from corners, from open play. It speaks a lot for how formidable the team is. And please, I'm begging NFF, whatever happens from this Nations Cup, I'm moving forward. They should not sack Eric Chair. I beg them. I think this man can build something for Nigeria. He's already building. I think they should keep him. I think he can do something for Nigeria. Okay? So they should please don't sack him, because Nigeria's football politics is something else. I don't even understand them. So on a final note, going into these group stages, into the knockout stages, I want to implore that in as much as we have tried these new people today, the crux of the team, the first 11, I don't think can be changed really, except something really happens, you know. And we have now seen that we have good options on the bench that we can use. I think I rest my case and allow other people to contribute. Thank you. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I was saying thank you very much. I said you should join us more on the program. You know, you said it's your first time, so we want to see more of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Alrighty. I'll take one more caller for this evening and then we'll wrap it up. We're already at the 2-hour mark, so we're already hitting our time. But yes, thank you for your patience, Mr. Udoka. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, AyoT. Thank you very much for the opportunity once more. Well, let me say I give it up to Mr. Tayo. You know, that was a wonderful and matured way of analyzing game, saying his views, you know. And once again, I want to say congratulations to Nigeria. Let me start from the coach, Mr. Eric Trell. I want to say when the man was being interviewed and he said that if Nigeria give him an opportunity, that he's going to win a nation cup for Nigeria, I think he's not missing words. You understand me? Because going by what we see, you can easily say that the man is hitting the point. You understand me? Every of his
It's
game.
a bit early to say it, but I hear you.
Sure, it may be, no, for me, for those of us that have the gift of clear cognizance, you understand me? I can foresee what the man is doing from a distance. You understand me? Listen, it's not, if you check the first game, our game against Tunisia and today's game, you can see that all of them varies. He approaches game based on opponent. That is to tell you who is a real coach. You understand me? Why am I saying this? I watched Nigeria game, one of a classic game, 2010 qualifier against Tunisia. That was last night. I just watched the game. Then I see the studded stars of Nigeria paraded on that game and how they were struggling. At the end of the day, that game ended 2-2 in Abuja. If you can recall, you understand me? But what is there? We have the players, but we don't have the technical know-how. Shaib Biamodu was not able to galvanize the team and be able to, give them, interpret how they will play so that they can achieve results. But on the flip side, that is what this man is doing. Well, Nigeria has the players. Then he's been able to be interpreting the game, play this way, do this way. So another way, AyoT said, the last Tayo said, if players can match the tempo, high tempo, if we meet a high tempo. Don't forget that this Uganda we beat today, they play a high tempo game. But what happened? Chile, we tell his men to slow the game. Do you understand me? Slow the tempo of the game and distribute. When you circulate your pass, do you understand me? You put your opponent on the edge. It becomes a kind of a tough, difficult terrain for them. Do you understand me? Watch the goal they scores. How many movements? How many tap? 1, 2, 3. Before you know it, they're there. That is to tell you how pacey they can be. But because of this man, this current coach knows how to curtail all these people. I don't need to tell you what happened against Tunisia. You understand me? So that is it. Then another thing again I want to mention is I want us to also big up a man like Obu. Even if Kevin Bassey is the boss, do you understand me? I want us to big him up because you have to check when was his first call into Super Eagles. That was sometime in August, right? The match they played in the Unity Cup in England. Yeah. That was his first call. But then going forward again, at a point he looked like he missed out in the qualifying. Then he come back again. Do you understand me? Then look at the confidence the guy is oozing. Understand me? Look at his long thrust balls. You understand me? That is to tell you what we have there. Even remember when Kevin Bassey was being tongue lashed against Ghana when we were playing qualifying in Accra. You understand me? Check how many years have Bassey been in that position. Then check how many moves you go Obu. How many moves you go Obu has put in, and look at what is dishing out. That is to tell you that we have somebody in there. Understand me? We have somebody. We need to big him up so that he can have more confidence to do more. You know. And Onyedika, applaud say Onyedika. I'm happy for him. Do you understand me? Because it's not in your show. It was the show of Smith Laye. Do you understand me? That was the game. The day before the game against Tunisia. It was only one voice, Chris. That guy was dishing out every statistics about Onyedika, and nobody was like accepting what he's saying. Every other panelist was like, no, Onyedika is bad, Onyedika is this. So when they give me opportunity, unfortunately, because I was having a feedback from my call, I wasn't able to say much, I just say little. I told them that, listen, Onyedika's game is modeled like this of Andre Pilo. You understand me? Very simple. He throw pass. Do you understand me? Very simple. He doesn't want, because Onyedika is on it brought up. Those of us that live within that area, Bendel State and Anambra, especially Onitsha, if you watch boys that grew up in Onitsha, their game, we normally call it selense. That is, they don't want anything that will stain them. You understand me? They take ball, they dish out, they move to another level, you give him, he dish out. That is the kind of brought up Onyedika had, the kind of orientation growing up. Understand me? And you can see it in his game, But that vision, the vision of giving pass is there. And if he run into the position to score goal, he can always execute it. And that is what happened today. I thank God for his 2 goals. And I then talking about the captain, fantastic, Mr. Osimhen. Oh my God. I thank God. It looked like sometimes leadership can remodel someone's way of behavior. You understand me? Today's game, even though he did not get a goal, but then he played that leadership role and be able to help out in that front three to make sure that we are mounting the pressure. Then his personality alone is kind of crippling their defenders. Not to talk about when he make runs. And look at that goal that the first pass this guy could have scored. Understand me? Had it been he scored that could have been a very beauty, because he could have really give him a assist on his name. But however, generally, I am so much glad that the game ended that way, even though we conceded a late goal. You understand me? That's just a blush. We can, look back and see how we can remodel our game going forward. You understand me? Then, not forgotten again, this young man.
Okay.
1
minute, please.
Oh, sorry, dear. Okay, let me just round it up. I also want to appreciate the effort of the young man, Nadi Totuku, because I was saying that looking at what he played in the friendly against Egypt, I was thinking it's not ready, but the young man is proving me wrong. He shows that if he's been thrown in at any time, he can do justice to it. So finally, I want to say congratulations to you and congratulations to your brother Smith. Like, you guys are doing a very wonderful job. Hopefully, we'll see in the next days. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Udoka. Very well said. I appreciate having you on the show. And there we have it, guys. I want to appreciate every single person that has called in. I always say 5 minutes for everybody, but then people end up talking, and I let it go because I enjoy hearing other perspectives and hearing you guys' opinions as well. But yes, that's the wrap up. Uganda 1, Nigeria 3. The Super Eagles 3 wins out of 3. 8 goals in 3 matches. Unfortunately, no clean sheets yet, but we're spreading the love. Different people are getting on the score sheet. We're seeing different kinds of performances. All but I think maybe 3 or 4 players are featured at this AFCON. So it's looking good for us so far. Can we now carry this momentum into the knockout round? Knockout football is the real tournament football. It doesn't matter what you do in the group stage. If you have a bad game, you are going home. So you need to be tip-top on point every performance from now until you lift that trophy. Can we do one better than we did last time? Mr. Adoka was talking about Eric Schell. And yes, I like what Eric Schell is doing, but for me, I look at it that I'm not going to judge him and his ability to win AFCON yet until he wins the AFCON. Why? The last coach took us to the final. I've seen General win bronze medal. So other than the 2021 that we went and got knocked out in the round of 16 under Equavon, is our standard. Like this is our standard. Like the Super Eagles always have to be an AFCON contender. So winning the 3 group stage games is nice, but I'm not getting carried away yet with Eric Schell. I want to see him take us all the way to the final and do one better than we did with Jose Peseiro last time, and then win the trophy. And then I'll say, yes, you said you would do, and I love a talk and do. But I have to give credit to him and give credit to his team for what they are doing in this tournament so far. Hopefully it continues like this. Hopefully we see players continue to perform well. No silly red card, no silly mistakes. We'll wait for the games tomorrow to know who exactly we're going to face. Some would predict Mozambique because you expect them to maybe lose against Cameroon tomorrow, but this is football. Anything can happen. We have Morocco on our side of the bracket. We have Algeria on our side of the bracket, potentially DR Congo on our side of the bracket. We have South Africa on our side of the bracket. So it's not going to be an easy road to the final, but that's how we like it. To be the best, you have to beat the best. Let's see if the Super Eagles can be the best. I'll see you guys in my next preview for the round of 16 and, of course, post-match show on that day as well. It's been a pleasure. My name is AyoT. This is Eagles Tracker, the home of Nigerian football. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you very much.